In part 1 of my self-management series, I covered the first of 4 self-management competencies: being self-aware, knowing our strengths and weaknesses, and having a set of core values. In this episode, I shall cover organization and discipline, planning ahead, keeping ourselves on track, and the discipline that comes with it. Hi, I'm Nikos Orsidis, CEO, management consultant, and author. This channel is devoted to raising your managerial competence, and each episode covers a core skill or competency. Organization and discipline is all about getting things done effectively. Often, what prevents us from doing that is procrastination, constantly postponing action to do things later. So the key to getting things done is starting, especially things that you've identified as important. Stop delaying and finding excuses for why you can't do something. Just start. Once you do, you're much more likely to keep going. Of course, starting something needs to be guided by your goals and priorities. Ticking off tasks that are not moving you forward makes you busy. That saps energy from things that really matter. In fact, one of my favorite maxims comes from Peter Drucker, widely regarded as the father of management, who said, "There's nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all." So how can we manage tasks in a way that is both purposeful and effective? Well, coming up with routines to deal with information overload is key. On average, people in corporate management get between 150 and 200 emails a day, a topic I've already covered in a separate episode. Sifting through new information that is coming at us from all directions can get overwhelming. Productivity is all about separating the signal from the noise, that which is important from that which is hardly necessary. And we need to have some kind of a system to store and retrieve information. You see, our brain is not an optimal storage and retrieval system. Productivity guru David Allen famously said that our brain is for having ideas, not storing them. And he's absolutely right. Our brain, as wonderful and organized as it is, has its flaws. It cannot retain more than a certain number of things at the same time in what we call short-term memory. And we often forget things or don't remember them accurately.
Rocco, you're home.
Rocco, you're home.
No work yet. This city's a damn brick wall.
No work yet. This city's a damn brick wall.
Rocco, you're home.
No, you said that. You said that already. It's his line.
And what's my line?
Vernon, come on, you get off the stage. You don't come on until the third act.
Listen, okay, I know, but listen, okay? I think I have my speech memorized, all right? I just ran it now. Okay, I gotta do it before it leaves my head. Please.
There's a joke attributed to an American comedian, Emo Phillips, that went something like this. I used to think that the brain was the most wonderful organ in my body, but then I realized who was telling me this. Jokes aside, it is important to write things down to help us action them effectively, once we prioritize them. But lists are useless unless we have the discipline to execute. Discipline is something we learn early in life, during our childhood. Often this entails not doing certain things when we feel the urge to do them. Eating that donut, going out to play when we have homework to do, not brushing our teeth regularly, or later in life, taking a vacation in the middle of an important project, or going to a football game when our team desperately needs us. So self-discipline is vitally important, period. Even more so when we execute work-related tasks and manage others. So let's break this down. Learning the basics of getting things done in an efficient way starts with setting goals for our life's key domains, personal, family, or business. It also requires organizing our workspace, as well as life space more generally. Marie Kondo's best-selling book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, that has also become a series on Netflix, has struck a vein across the world, because it taps into a deeply felt desire to bring order to our cluttered and chaotic lives.
I have so much stuff.
It's a never-ending battle to fight the clutter.
Her method, dubbed the KonMari method, is based on a few simple steps. Number 1, decide what you want from your space. Number 2, divide your items into groups. Put them in separate piles. Number 3, for each item, ask yourself if it sparks joy. If it does not, discard it. Number 4, put the item in its designated place. In my own office, I categorize and assign a home for each of my items. I try to be purposeful, deliberate, and even brutal about what I keep. Your desk and office, as is your home and living space, are a reflection of you. They reveal a lot about your personality. Of course, physical clutter and messiness is one dimension of the problem. Digital clutter is the other. And with the amount of information we accumulate every day, it is getting worse, causing us enormous stress. As far as I know, information management, and specifically computer file management, is not a skill taught at school or even in most companies. The same goes for folder structure, file naming, where to save documents, and how to archive and retrieve them. If your company has a document management system, then shared directories and rules around file management are perhaps fairly clear, but just within that system. But even if you're lucky enough to have had some training on document management, you still have many other information storage needs, be they personal, family, or professional. These may be entirely separate or overlap with whatever you're using for the company. Most people have to figure this out on their own, and many end up with overlapping or inconsistent systems. The system I use revolves around Apple products. I am, and have been ever since I can remember, a Mac user. I have an iPhone, an iPad Pro, MacBook Pro, iMac, and use mostly Apple's native apps along with MS Office. And as these sync across my devices and get stored in iCloud, they work reasonably well for me. You may use other operating systems, and that's absolutely fine. The important thing is to have a logical system and use it consistently. Take calendars, for instance, one of the key tools for productivity. I don't have an analog calendar, so my Outlook calendar, which I use along with reminders and notes, is the control center for my daily schedule. You come to realize early in your career that even if something is part of your daily routine, you may still need to block time for it to avoid scheduling conflicts. One decision you need to make is whether you use different calendars for your personal and work lives. If you keep separate calendars, you need to be extra careful as they increase the risk of double booking. On the other hand, if you go the consolidated route, you'll probably need to color code entries so that you can easily distinguish them. Another important way of ensuring efficiency and quick retrieval is to include in your calendar entry any important details about where the event is, how to get there, and the attendees. You can lose valuable time searching for relevant details when you can easily include them in your calendar. Then come email management, to-do lists, and ways of capturing your thoughts for later use. I use my iPad and Apple Pencil for taking notes during meetings, or to capture an important idea. I rarely, if ever, use paper notebooks, but that is just what works for me. Whatever route you take, what is really important is to devise a system and stick to it. So keeping yourself organized through a well-designed document management system, supplemented by note-taking, task tracking, and scheduling, is absolutely key for productivity. You may wish to brush up on this by looking up David Allen's suggestions in his best-selling book, Getting Things Done. Any Google search will bring up tons of useful material if you don't already have his book. Finally, you need to take time to plan ahead. My own routine involves spending 10, maximum 15 minutes at the end of each day, reviewing my to-do list for the following day, and deciding on the top 2 or 3 things I must get done. I also spend about 30 minutes at the end of each week to plan what I need to accomplish the following. So, to recap. Number 1, set goals and priorities and regularly plan ahead, pivoting if necessary. Number 2, devise a system for storing and retrieving information. Number 3, track progress for disciplined execution and follow. Number 4, declutter your space, both physical and virtual. So long for now, and see you in the next episode.